Hey guys, welcome to this next YouTube video. Today we're going to be talking about the head position during the stroke and how that's affecting your aiming. Let's get into the video. So alignment is one of the most important parts of putting, and have you ever lined the ball up thinking that it's going at the correct line, and then you set up to the ball and that line doesn't look like where you set it up at? Okay, this can really sort of screw with your head and can sort of cause you to either trust the line or not trust the line. Either way, if you're not fully committing to the line or no line, and you're not really going to trust your line, then the most likely scenario is that you're not going to put a good putt on the ball. I've been there myself. If you're standing over it and you feel like you've aimed this line at the left side of the hole, but then when you step over it, it feels like it's aimed at the right line of the hole, you then try to aim a little bit more left and then end up missing left when you should have just trusted the line. Okay, we've all been there, and one of the reasons why I feel like someone's alignment may be off, it's because of their head position. Okay, so it's really important to ensure that when we're setting up to the ball, that our head is directly pointing down towards the ball. Okay, because if it's on a slight tilt, then our aiming and perception is going to be skewed, and we don't want this to happen. Otherwise, again, we may be forced to not trust our line and to sort of maneuver our alignment to compensate for our head position moving around. So as you can see here, I've got a putt here, okay, pretty standard 3-footer. This would be one of the putts, as it's a straight putt, that most people might use a line on the ball. Again, as it's a short one, we want to make sure that our alignment's on point, because if our alignment's not on point, then we have such a short amount of time to try and correct it by adjusting the stroke and compensating for things. On short putts, it's really hard to compensate for stuff, again, because of the lack of space we have to work with. So on this short putt, what I'm going to do is set up a line. So I've got my line facing straight at the hole, okay? And when my head's pointing down at the ball and it's pointing directly down at the ball, that line now looks like it's going straight at the hole. Now if I tilt my head to the right and I'm looking at it more through my left eye and my head's actually facing the other side of the ball, then now that line to me looks like it's going to the right side of the hole. Vice versa, if I have my head targeted a little bit more towards the hole, that then actually makes me think that that line's pointing more left of the hole. Okay, so it's really important to ensure that our head is pointing straight down. Another disadvantage of having our head pointing away from the hole, obviously it can cause us to thinking that we're aiming more right than what we are. What that can then cause to compensate for that right alignment is more of a pull. Because if I'm in this position and I feel like I'm aiming more right than what I am because of where my head is, that's then going to cause me to try and pull the putt back online, which then that can actually cause me to miss the putt left. Vice versa, if I explain again from this view, if I'm tilting my head towards the target, that's then going to cause me to feel like that putter and that line on the ball is aiming actually left of the hole, so I may be persuaded to try and push it online. That then can make me miss the putt right. Either way, having your head not directly pointing down at the hole and having it tilted either away from the target or towards the target is going to skew perception and is going to skew that line on the ball to us and our perception of where that line on the ball is facing, which can then have a negative effect on our stroke. So when you're next practicing, I want you to line a ball up, find a straight 3-foot putt, and I want you to just experiment with tilting your head towards the target and away from the target and find that middle ground. Okay, you'll know you're in the middle ground because you can see clearly with both eyes down at the ball, and that line on the ball should look like it's going straight at the hole. And then from there, you can start to pull the trigger. Another thing that I want to sort of touch on as well is if we aren't going to be persuaded to sort of compensate our stroke for our perception, then what having our head tilted away from the target can do is open up our shoulders. That can then actually cause our path to get more inside. That can actually cause more of an in to out path, which can then cause us to miss right. Again, vice versa, if I'm tilting my head to the left, that can actually close my shoulders off to you guys and open it up to the target. That can then cause me to start my stroke more on the outside and then cut across the ball, which can obviously cause me to pull it left. Okay, so having your head tilted either left or right can make it hard for you to aim because it's going to skew your perception. Also, when your head's tilted left or right, it's going to skew your shoulders, or it can skew your shoulder alignment, which can then affect your path, which can then affect your face rotation. So it's really important to ensure that your head and your nose is pointing down directly at the ball. Then your shoulders are going to be aligned and your perception is going to be on point. So this is just one thing that you may not be aware of that you're even doing. So get down on the practice green, try and sort of find that middle ground, be aware of the shoulder alignment, be aware of your head alignment, and then try and roll some putts. And you should feel that your perception and your alignment as a whole is much more solid. Okay, so thanks for watching everyone. If you could like and subscribe, that'd be great. And I'll speak to you in the next video.